Advaita Vedanta, or Advaita Vedanta, as it's pronounced here in America, is a really unique philosophy because it says that everything you know is wrong.
Okay, dude, you ready?
I know words, I have the best words.
We go through this universe feeling like we are inside of it. Like we're in the universe, we're on Earth, we're in the universe, that's how we feel. We don't feel like I am the universe, which is a lot of us say it. A lot of us say like we are all one, but not many of us actually feel like I am the universe. And this is what Advaita says. We are all one. Advaita literally translates into, it's a Sanskrit word, it translates into not two. Not two. Non-dual. This couldn't be more of a contradiction to what you feel in your normal life. Here's a good quote I found. You are trying to solve a problem where there is no problem, and that becomes a problem. All the conclusions that you have reached about yourself, all the conclusions about who you reached about who you are, they're all wrong. You're not mortal, you are not unhappy, and you're not ignorant. You take yourself to be what you are not, and you try to solve a problem which is not there. Therefore, there can't be any solution to that problem other than the recognition that the original conclusions about who you are wrong. So if the problem is unreal because you have come to an incorrect conclusion about who you actually are, no amount of pursuits, no matter how much you try, you'll always come to a dead end. And any amount of pursuits cannot cure a non-existent problem. Hence all human pursuits fail miserably. But Vedanta says that you are immortal, sat, you are truth. Like the foundation of who you are is reality, it's truth, chit, or consciousness, or existence itself. And you are blissful. That nature of who you are is bliss, or anand. Sat, Chit, Anand. So what this means is that on the surface we appear to be attached to this illusion of separateness. And it comes on through a fundamental disidentification. We are looking in the wrong place. We are distracted by our ego and attached to our thoughts, or confused by our instincts. But somewhere inside of you, beneath and beyond our thoughts, beneath and beyond our attachments to this illusion of permanence, all this temporary stuff that we seem to be holding on to as if it's real, when it's all going to go. Anything that's true and real can't be temporary, right? Reality must always be real. So this misidentification of thinking this is reality has left us confused, and in return creates suffering. The Buddha summed it up perfectly when he said attachment is the root of all suffering. But the same energy that lights up the sun is the same energy that pumps your heart, that allows you to breathe. You are this creative, eternal energy that scatters itself like roots into all things. It grows all things into this temporary material universe. There's a popular Sanskrit saying, Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. You are that. You are that. You are that. Adi Shankaracharya said, Atman is Brahman. Sub-ek, it's all one. Atman, God, the soul and God are one. We've all watched our bodies grow and get older and get sick, and but the thing that's remained the same is the awareness of these happenings. We've always been the same. You know, like I always say, like, you can cut my arm off and throw it over there and I'll still be here. I'm not this body. I might confuse myself with the temporary pain and say I am this pain. But once that heals, I'm still the same person. I'm still the same awareness that I was before. The spark of who I am remains. And I think everything in existence has this eternal spark engraved into their core. It's the thing we all share. You confuse the boundaries of your skin and the air to be two separate events happening. But the truth is that this air and your body are actually one process. You can't exist without these conditions and this environment that make it possible for you to exist to begin with. We've seen when we start messing with the harmony of nature. You take one thing out and the whole thing kind of collapses like a house of cards. It's because not only on a spiritual level and an energetic level is it all one, but on a physical level, it's all one. All these things in the environment, a soil and a tree, they all arise mutually. You can't have a tree without soil or vice versa. It's our attachment to the ego, and it's the ego that creates these judgments. It's the ego that says, I like this, I don't like this is that, this is this, I am this, I am that. When in reality, you are a spectrum of things. You are an infinite possibility of things. And really what you are in your core is just a beingness experiencing a spectrum of happenings. None of those happenings are you. They're just lights flashing on a screen. When you're watching a movie, all kinds of things can happen on a movie. There's catastrophic events like tidal waves and explosions and all this crazy stuff happens, but the thing that remains unchanged is the screen. This is all just lights flashing on a screen, but who you actually are is the thing behind all of this. We confuse ourselves with these happenings and we get lost in these loops of reality. You know, I'm hungry, I'm horny, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm angry. This is the importance of mantras. We are always chanting a mantra. We're always surrendering to a mantra, regardless if we like it or not, and it's usually not the most beneficial for our awareness. This is why it's important to have a mantra that connects you to divinity, to something higher, so that you can align and collectivize your thoughts and not be so singulated on the lower aspects of who you are. One of my favorite teachers of Advaita or Advaita is Ramana Maharshi. He's like considered the crown jewel of Advaita. He's like the guy that explains it better than anybody. He says that through persistent self-inquiry, asking yourself, who am I? Who am I? Through constantly keeping your attention focused on the source of any thought you have. Anytime you have a thought, I'm hungry. Who is hungry? Where is this thought coming from? So through persistent self-inquiry and through devotion and through persistent surrender to the egotistical mind into the spiritual heart, then this obscuration of identification will be removed and the true self, the eternal high self, will be revealed to you. And human beings, and particularly Western culture, has this problem with microscoping the world apart using language. To back up an example, we say things like, this is a flower, this is the soil, and we ignore the inseparable relationship. This gap, this inseparable relationship, is consciousness waiting to be realized. This is Advaita. This is the essence of non-duality, this gap. Ramana Maharshi also said that this gap in between thoughts is who you actually are. This gap in between thoughts is who you actually are. So similarly, this gap that we are ignoring, the inseparability between things, is who we actually are. There is no separateness. This to me is truth. Within and without, they mean the same thing, or they mean nothing at all. Front and back, it implies each other. It might look different, but it's really one. And this is the essence of Advaita, or the teaching of non-duality. We give names to particular arrangements of the one reality. We say, mala. Through doing that, we get lost into this weird fractalization of language, this weird virtual reality. We've created our own virtual reality using language. Terence McKenna said that reality is made up of language. And you can really understand that when you step back from this microscope, when you stop confusing reality with the way that you describe it and look at it objectively. If you look at it objectively, you can see that it's all one harmonious, unified happening. Just one giant body working together, just like the hand and the nose have two different functions. They're completely different things, but they are expressions of the one body. They are expressions of the one body. The whole universe is like this. Everything, this whole variety of creation are just different expressions of the one body. This is Advaita Vedanta in a nutshell, that the word universe is actually not a horrible representation of what is happening. It's actually an accurate representation of what's happening. Uni, like a unicycle, it means one. Uni means one. And verse is like a song. The universe is the song of the one, and we're all dancing to it. I hope that makes sense. If you liked it, give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe. I'm going to be making more videos about this and really elaborating on specific parts and really diving deep into this, because this has been a core philosophy that I've been looking into for the past few years. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. I love you. Hari Ram, Om, Shanti, 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 Om. Oh.